Hi, I'm Craig from Foxy Web Design. Thanks for watching this video on staying safe on the internet. Now, I've made quite a few videos for people to stay safe online and exposing various scams and things like that. But this is probably the most important one. It's a very basic one of just being aware of the various ways that you can be hacked online or have your identity stolen. So let's just go through some of the things here on this page. You can have a read through the various different ways that or people can hack into your device or account and the different types of devices that might get hacked, okay? Also, stay up to date. So the Australian Cyber Security Centre, they're going to have a lot more detailed and rich information than I could ever offer on how to stay safe online. So rather than repeat it, I've just given a link to their website because this really should be your number one stop to read through and understand, on top of watching this video, of course. So what you need to do is you need to keep your software up to date. And so that includes your Mac, MacBook, iPhone, iPads with Apple, and with Microsoft Windows. They've got a guide here on how to do automatic updates for Windows. All right, so they also recommend to turn on multi-factor authentication. I usually call that 2FA or two-factor authentication, and they're suggesting for all these different accounts and more, you should use the two-factor authentication. So an example would be if you log into Facebook, you put in your account name and password, they ask you for a code. Generally, that code comes from Facebook on your mobile phone. With Gmail, they would ask you for a code, and generally that code would come from an app on your phone, such as Google Authenticator. And similarly for all these different things. Or sometimes, like for instance on Instagram, if you're using their 2FA, they usually send you a code via your SMS that you can enter. So it makes it more than doubly hard then for a hacker to hack in. Just even if they've managed to get your password somehow, then they still have to hack into your mobile phone to get access to your authenticator. So it really does make you a lot more safe online. Now, you should also set up and perform regular backups. Like, this is so important, especially if you get some sort of ransomware, or it's generally not advised that if you do get infected with ransomware, never pay. Well, I advise that you should never pay the scammer. Other people will say different. If the information's really important, it might be worth the roll of a dice. But you'd be much better off to be proactive and to have regular backups on your system. And again, here's links to all the different types of backups that you can use for your Mac, your Windows, your iPhone, or your Samsung. On the Mac, I use Time Machine, and I also use Carbon Copy Cloner. You can also turn on malware protection for your device, and they've got some step-by-step guides here to do that on that link. There's also a checklist here to prepare for a cyber emergency plan. Again, great information, a really good idea to have a plan. Understanding the critical data that you have. Data that you can and cannot replace, etc., etc., and remain vigilant and informed. There's a couple of things here on this list I would like to add to. For instance, I think it's a very good idea to have a password wallet. Of course, I've made other videos on password wallet, but I'm just going to quickly go to the password wallet that I've been using for a long time and have no hesitation in recommending. I've spelt it wrong, but here we go. It's Password Wallet by Selznick. Selznick. And one of the reasons that I love this password wallet so much is it's been around from decades, from a company I really trust that do make scientific software such as gene sequencing and everything. They know their onions. It's available on a variety of platforms. The price is so modest, and they so rarely ever charge an update fee. They do minor free updates when is required, and sometimes when your platform goes through a major update, when it's necessary for them to release a major upgrade, they'll do a very modest fee, like $10 or $15. The software's great. You just have to remember that you always keep backups of your password wallet file. So one of the ways I back up my data, for instance, is I don't usually keep much data on my computer. I instead, I have all sorts of drives, external drives like that one, right? And I'll have them for various purposes, like one for work, one for my design files, one for my photography, one for my music. And I always keep multiple copies of each of my drives. So with my work files, which are very important, I actually have 3 backups on different hard drives. And I'm actually meaning to get one of those drives and actually take it to another remote location just to be ultra safe. So having multiple backups in 2 physical locations is about the safest you can be. Also, backing up to the cloud can be a safe thing to do. So we've gone through most of the things that you can protect yourself with. Again, there's other things you can do. I use a port sniffer on my Mac, for instance, called Little Snitch, but that's beyond the scope of this video. If you're looking for a different password wallet, just one last thing on password wallets is there's a website called Stack Social. There it is, Stack Social. And they often do lifetime deals on software, such as password wallets. Okay, so having a password wallet, and so they've got Sticky Password on sale for lifetime subscription. Do your own research, or always look into that. But they also have lifetime deals on VPNs. And again, I'm not going to recommend which VPN to use, but I have bought lifetime subscriptions from VPNs that I use quite often from Stack Social, and it's really good software. But I did look up all the reviews and make sure that the VPN I was buying was a good VPN. What's a VPN? It's a virtual private network. What that does is it helps mask your identity when you're surfing online, and that can help prevent, especially it can help prevent getting infections on your browser. Another way that you can protect, which is very similar to a VPN, it protects your privacy online, and you could use a VPN. Plus, you could use a privacy browser like Tor is a very good online anonymous browser, so that you can't be tracked, and again, that helps protect you. And I also hear that the Brave browser is very good, but I haven't used Brave browser yet myself, but they call it the fast, secure, private web browser. And I really should have more of a look at that soon, especially because it's open source. I'm always a big fan of open source software, which means that it can be audited by anyone in the public, and a lot of good guys out there, good women out there, who are hackers, good hackers. They would audit software like that and make sure that there's no tools in there to exploit. All right, so the next part of this video to help you stay safe online, so just bear with me. Yeah, so iTheme security. Now, this is more for websites. But every month they release this vulnerability report, which I always have a look at because I manage WordPress websites. But you could always, if you wanted to, if you run a WordPress website, then this is a great place to keep up to date on their blog with their vulnerability report. Okay, and again, the best way to protect your website from being hacked like this would be to keep all your software up to date. I've got other videos on how to do that. I also run a maintenance plan, and I install iTheme Security and Backup Buddy, and do regular updates, usually once or twice a day, updates for all the sites. Just to be aware, there's just so much of this happening if you run a website, and that is like here on December 10th, it was reported that 1.6 million WordPress websites currently under cyber attack from over 16,000 different IP addresses. Okay, so you could read more about that there on thehackernews.com to read articles about that. And also the other article they had out there was how a new variant of ransomware malware was spotted in the wild out there. Okay, so just be aware of that. That's and you could get that malware. It could be in a bad email newsletter. It could be in bad software that you've inadvertently downloaded. Often the free software. So just be aware. Or sometimes if you click on a link, you might not even realize it, but that link set up a automatic download of malware. Or it could be a pop-up ad that you've clicked on that said that your computer has been infected and that you need to clean it using this virus software. And what you might not be aware of is it's fake software or malware. And again, installing even worse software on your computer. A lot of this malware comes in the form of Trojan horses. So it's contained in other things that you thought was safe. And then you open it up and hey presto, you're infected. Now what I'd like to do is run through some examples of some scam software. Scam emails, all right? And these are some important ones to be aware of. Fake deliveries. Now this could come from carriers that you're not aware of, or it might look like something that you use, like Australia Post or UPS or any number of different courier services. And these emails will pretend to be them, and you think that you've got a delivery, and you click on it, and it could take you to a malware site. Again, if you've got your VPN turned on and you use a browser like Tor browser, you could try and be safe by copying the link, right, and going into the Tor browser, and then you could you could paste the link in here, not visit yet, just paste it in to see where it's going, right? And this is use some sort of link shortener or something. So I'm not even going to try and discover what that was, but I mean, you know, that's more advanced stuff, and I just wanted you to be aware of that. You could copy the link and paste it somewhere, and you're not actually going there until you hit return if you wanted to analyze that some more. Now, you can get all sorts of different fake invoices, fake emails from services. You might be with Optus, or it might be from a bank you're with, or it might be like a streaming account like Netflix, for instance, or it could be a social media account from Facebook, giving you something, and it looks legit, right? It looks legit, and you're tempted to click on this to refund the amount, or refund your money, or any number of different things like that. And again, it'll take you to a fake website. Now, you could do a right click up there, and you could see, oh gosh, this email address, that doesn't look like the right email address at all. But they can even sometimes fake email. They can even make it look like the email address came from your company, and they could even potentially spoof your own email. I got one similar to that the other day that said it came from HR at my business but it was just pretending to. So someone in the company your company could potentially look at that email address and say, oh, that came from our HR department. But of course, these scammers, they can spoof even the email address. You can go deeper into this. That's not what this video is about. You could go into the view or the message thing and look at the raw source and analyze it more, and that would be a way as well. That would be something for your IT department. You could alert them about this email if you were concerned, and the IT department could then examine it more carefully. But the safest thing you can do is, if it looks suspicious or anything like that, don't click on any links, don't download any attachments. And if you do feel that you still needed to follow that up, for instance, if it was an Optus thing you were concerned about, my best advice is for you to go directly to the Optus website And then if you're going to log in directly from there. We can see that this is legit. This is optus.com.au. This is their real website, and you can log in to there, because you might click on the link and this might take you to somewhere that looks identical to this. But of course, it might not be the actual real optus.com.au. So just be aware of that. You can get fake invoices. You can get fake invoices saying thank you for the payment. There's been a charge on your card of USD, and you can find the receipt here. And then when you ring up the customer service team, right, you're actually calling up scammers, and they'll be reading from some sort of script on how to scam you next. That they'll either be asking for your account information or logins, or they'll be fishing for something. So they're going to try and pretend that they're the real Norton support team, and then they might tell you your computer's been infected, or that they've deducted this amount of money from your bank account. They could tell you all sorts of things, and just that. So just be aware, those fake invoices, they come through quite a lot. Again, there's another example of that. Here's an example saying that you've got 20 Bitcoin credited to your account, and giving you your login and passcode. I'm not even going to click on that to try and work out what that scam is, but it's obviously a scam. No one sends 20 Bitcoin for free. This is another one saying that your email has been quarantined, and that you need to view your email quarantine to release these emails that apparently have been held up. And of course, then it's going to ask for your username and password. And hey presto, the first thing that they will probably do then is change the password for your own account, and you're locked out from your account for a short time. Obviously you could always go into your cPanel or the thing that manages that account and change that password again. But by that stage, they've potentially downloaded all your emails and now looking through all your emails for other passwords, account information. Just they're basically building they're connecting all the dots, and they're building up a profile of you. So, and they might think, oh well, now I've got this password for this email account. Maybe they've used the same password for a different account, like on your bank, because some people do use the same passwords for everything, and that's really not a safe thing to do. So there's another example of clicking on this thing, people pretending to be Microsoft support. It even looks, it looks like Microsoft support. But yeah, this is, so that they've masked themselves quite well, but never click on a link and enter your information or any passwords or logins. You just don't do that. If you're concerned, you would go directly to the Microsoft account and have a look at it that way. Some sort of fake bank thing here. Here's a fake Netflix one that wants you to visit there, and then they would have access to your Netflix account. You might get scams that come through on your web form, and like we can protect from spam on your web form and filter out most of it, but it's impossible to eliminate all the spam. So you just need to stay aware. Being nominated for a fake directory, that's a common scam. This Who's Who is a really common scam directory thing. It's not going to give you any extra business. It's just going to mean that you lose some money. The domain notice thing. Quite often, if you own a website, they can get your information usually from Whois, and now they've got the email address of the person that registered a website, so they know that you registered a website. Then they make these emails that look like you've got to renew your domain name registration, but then hidden in the fine print, they'll say domain name search engine registration, and then they'll probably say, oh no, you didn't pay for your domain name, because this is not actually your domain name supplier. They're just pretending that they're trying to mask themselves to appear like that. but then they might say it was for some dodgy SEO service that probably would infect your website or make the SEO worse. Either way, it's a disaster. So watch out for those fake invoices. And here's the final example, and that is asking for a quotation request. And again, here is they've said that it's the attached items, which is I guarantee there's malware in here, and you should never download that at all. If you look, obviously, if you were concerned, you could always ring up that phone number and check. But I didn't bother doing that because I can tell straight away this is a scam. I mean, it's for me, it's obviously a scam. But that doesn't mean that I'm immune to these sorts of things. I could inadvertently click on a bad link. I could do any of the things that are here. Just because I'm aware of it, it doesn't mean I couldn't potentially become a victim too, because we're all so busy. And it's so easy just to click on something accidentally, mistakenly. And if you ever do that, just try and be as quick as possible to log into your account, update the password, make sure you're all backed up, make sure your software's all up to date. But the first thing is just to update that password, just in case you'd made a mistake like that. All right, so back to the quiz page, and so we've covered phishing and malware and emails. We've discussed how dangerous it can be to download files from a website. We haven't talked. Sometimes you might find a USB flash drive in a car park or something like that. Just be aware that just bin that. Crush it and bin it, because believe it or not, it's another way that people spread malware around, So, a cheap thumb drive, $7, it's just not worth the risk. If you're using Pirate Bay or a P2P sharing platform, then you really need to be using a VPN or a Tor browser to try and protect you, so that people don't know what your online IP is. So trying to mask that if you're visiting unsafe sites like that. Infected software, usually in the form of free software, just be on guard from that. And even updating the software, make sure that when you're downloading that update, you're actually downloading it from that legit website, okay? Adware, now you could get a pop-up saying that your computer's been infected or any number of things. Just if you're getting pop-ups, then you might have got a script infection or something like that on your browser, but that doesn't mean your computer has been infected. So don't fall for that danger alert saying you've got to clean your computer from a dangerous virus and call this number or click on this link, because the chances are that's just going to lead you into more trouble. If you're concerned about that and you don't know how to clean your browser, then probably it's a good idea to take your computer to a professional and have them remove any malware. So bad ads, there can be a lot of bad ads, and like Google's kind of a little bit infamous for, and Facebook definitely is infamous for letting bad players put ads on their network, which takes you down the road of being scammed. So just be ultra aware. And again, very similar to email, probably don't click on those links. Like if there's some sort of offer that you want to avail yourself of, visit the genuine website directly and get in contact with them if you feel there's some sort of promotion there. But generally, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. All right. I won't even go into the online dating scams that are out there. I'm sure that you're aware that they happen. So again, just exercise caution. I've in the past year, I've had friends and family and business associates get malware. They've had their email phished and attacked, And then once that happens, the hacker sends out bad emails to everyone on their contact list with fake invoices or connections to other viruses and malware and bad links. I've got a colleague that has been a victim of identity fraud, which meant a really painful process of contacting all their banks and all their financial institutions to alert them that there's a bad player out there using their ID to try and get loans and all sorts of things like that. So I encourage you to do this quiz, and if you get top marks, you can feel a little bit safer. If you fail the quiz, there'll be another video that I've made that goes through all of this one more time. Just like, it might have been you just didn't know which button to press, and it might be that you do understand all of this, so the video will just go through one by one, so that you can take that quiz again and go for a perfect score, so that you can feel safer being online, and more confident. But don't ever, pride comes before a fall. So don't ever think that you're invulnerable, okay? Always exercise caution, and do slow down sometimes when you're clicking on links or downloading attachments, all right? I'll just finish off this video. Just thanks so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful for you. If it is, consider subscribing and liking on my YouTube channel there. And just be aware, I said before, especially if you run a WordPress site, it doesn't matter if it's WordPress. It can be any type of CMS. It could be Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, whatever. You need to keep that software up to date. Now, I do offer a maintenance plan. There's two different ones. The value plan maintenance keeps everything up to date regularly. It has iThemes Security Pro, which then gives you two-factor authentication on your website, and Backup Buddy to keep regular backups of the website. But we've also got the business class maintenance plan with a host of different features. In fact, I'll just show you. One of the features is, this is a really good feature, is Virus Die. I'll just find one of my recent reports from Virus Die. So anyone that's on our maintenance list, I get a summary each month of the report on how secure all the websites was. They like to tell me that I'm in the top companies for website security rankings. Thank you, Virus Die. It's a really good service. If you want to read more about Virus Die, you can just click on here to see what that does, how that protects your website. I use a number of different things to protect your website, including better uptime, to monitor 24/7 the health of your website and how long it's been up and running, and if it ever goes down. And generally, the reports for me just show that the server backs itself up and does maintenance each night. And so the website might go down for a few minutes between midnight and about 6 a.m. But other than that, if it went down for any other reason, I'm made aware of it, and I can go in there and fix any problems, if any. With this premium one, you also get 1 hour of my time each month, and you can avail yourself of this software library, which, in all modesty, this is massive. And I would have to do another video to explain just how massive this is. But if you want a membership site, my software library can do it. If you want a bookings website, this software library can do it. If you want some funnels or advanced checkout flows, this software will do it. If you want raffles, this software will do it. If you want an email system, I've got Mail Poet for up to 25,000 subscribers, which is worth the cost of the maintenance plan alone. So it really is extraordinary value. Anyway, thanks for allowing me to put in that little plug in at the moment, but I really do think it's great value, and it really does help keep your website protected. So yes, thanks again for watching. If you've got any more questions on any of this, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer any questions you've got about staying safe online or protecting your website. or anything else about making your business look great online.